Hey y'all, it's your favorite blue-haired baddie, and today I'm going to show you how I become a blue-haired baddie. Sorry, disclaimer, I am not a hairstylist. I have no hairstyling education, so by no means think I am an expert. I've done a lot of research online, watching a lot of videos and hairstylist tips in order to do this, but I am not a professional. I do recommend going to a hair salon, but if you're like me and feel the need to do everything yourself, here are some fucking tips. To make sure you have dirty hair. It's kind of like a perm, you just don't want it to burn up your scalp, so making sure you have dirty hair is very, very nice. As you can see here, is how my hair looks straight out of braids from a wig I was wearing. I first bleached and dyed my hair in September 2020. In this video here, it's July 2021, and this is all of my new hair growth. I am doing a split dye, so I'm only splitting down the middle of my hair and bleaching with one side. On the other side is just going to be black. Tip number 2 is to make sure your hair is always detangled. You don't want the bleach to catch on any knots because it would just pull your hair all the way out, and you do not want that. So just make sure your hair is detangled at each point of time. Every step, just make sure your hair is detangled. Tip number 3 is to always follow the measurements. Always follow the measurements and what is on the directions. Don't try to wing it and do your own thing. I know it seems like really simple, but a lot of people, they just don't read. But read and follow the measurements. If you have a scale, definitely use that. First time I ever bleached my hair, I used a scale because I was not trying to fuck up anything. So make sure you read the instructions and the measurements of what you're mixing. I'm using the clear blue pocket bleach and the clear professional 30 developer. To secure your edges, you want to make sure or hydrate your edges, protect your edges. You want to make sure that you have either Vaseline or shea butter and just rub it along your edges, on your forehead and your sideburn, right outside of your hairline, just so your forehead avoids any possible chemical burns. Start a timer from when you first apply on the bleach. Most bleaches, I believe they recommend 30 to 45 minutes. Again, read the instructions, but I really don't recommend anything more than an hour of bleach in your hair, or even 45 minutes, honestly. But it is up to you. Just make sure you make the right decision. Tip number 6 is now we are applying the bleach, and you make sure you want to start at your nape, which is right at the back of your head, and you don't start at the root. You work in sections and you start in the middle of this hair, not at the root. You want to make sure that you leave about an inch of the root unprotected, because we'll go back and we'll do the roots a separate time, because your roots is closer to your head, which has more heat, and it processes way faster. So make sure you leave about an inch away from the root when you're applying the first round of bleach. You also want to make sure that you are working in moderately sized sections, of course. When you're applying the bleach, make sure every strand is saturated. Tip number 7 is a very, very, very important tip, and it's to make sure you do a strand or a spot test. Don't do this all on your head at once. Try and maybe do like a little small section in the back just to make sure everything works out for your hair. This also applies to when you're dyeing your hair too, because you don't want to dye your hair the wrong color. You don't want to dye your whole head the wrong color. It's better to dye it in one spot than it is to dye it the whole head, if you understand what I'm saying. basically goes back into our previous tip, and it's to do your roots last. And you do your roots last because it is the place closest to your head, which means it produces the most heat. It makes the bleach to move faster, work faster. So basically, yeah, you just want to save that to last because you don't want your whole head being two different types of blondes. Another tip is that you can use tinfoil. This is optional, I feel like, but I do see a lot of hair salon videos and they use tinfoil. So using tinfoil just helps, separate everything and make sure you catch every single strand of hair. Tone your hair. Toning your hair is very important. I would recommend purple toning shampoo. Definitely do that. And that will just bring out all the orange and brassiness in your hair. So after I use the toning shampoo, I go in with my toning products and I mix them together, and just like everything else, make sure you read the instructions and use it for the correct amount of time. You don't be afraid, your hair will turn purple, but that means it's just working. The purple is what tones it, so just keep washing it out. It will come out and it will be turned. It will just look so sexy. It looks way better than what it will be before. Alright, so basically you've done everything and bleached your hair. Now you just want to make sure you do a care treatment on your hair. So you can do a deep condition where you just leave the conditioner on for like 45 minutes and then wash it out. Or you can do a protein treatment. If you're doing a protein treatment, I would recommend doing it, maybe give your hair a break and do it about 2 days later. I did mine the same time, and honestly, I probably shouldn't have done that. It felt like really plastically and weird, my hair texture. So I don't know, but it went back to normal. Like the texture was nice and well after that, but during that time I was like, no, definitely should have waited to have done that. Okay, and now we are into dyeing our hair. You already got over the hard part, which is bleaching your hair. Dyeing your hair is actually the easiest part. So you just literally just apply the bleach everywhere, make sure it's on every strand. Yeah, it's so simple, y'all. It's literally just apply it onto your hair. Make sure it's real saturated. I'd leave my hair dye on for about 45 minutes to an hour. I use the Adore Royal Blue, and honestly, I hated it. Like, this is why you do the strand test, like I said in your previous tip, because I hated the way it came out. It was too dark, but after one wash, honestly, it wasn't as dark anymore, and it was a type of blue that I like. So it was fine. It turned out all good. But so just be wary of that. Make sure you do a strand test. All right, so I hope I helped you guys in becoming a colored haired baddie. Thank you so much for tuning in, and take care.